We've been getting a lot of questions on how to do strict muscle ups, so we're going to go through some of the progressions and the prerequisites today that we use in the gym to get people to doing strict muscle ups. So the first one is you need to have the ability to hang from the rings in a false grip for 30 seconds comfortably. That means no wrist pain during or after. I'll give you a little example of what that looks like. You want to make sure that while you're holding this position, you're able to keep your wrists on top of the rings and not lose that grip during the 30 seconds. So the next for the prerequisites for a muscle up is dip support. And so we're looking for the top of a dip support and the bottom of the dip support. So in the top position, we want to see that you can comfortably hold this hollow body with the rings turned out for 30 seconds. Once you hit 30 seconds, you should be able to come to the bottom of the dip. And what we look for in the bottom is that you're able to keep the front of your shoulders in contact with the rings, with your elbows pulled in nice and tight, no flaring out, no sinking down too low. Again, both of these positions should be comfortable, shoulders and wrists during, no pain afterwards. Now that we've covered the prerequisites for a strict muscle up, now we're going to go over the progressions for it. And these are good to apply in a couple instances. If you have maybe one strict muscle up, this is a really good way to work on strength in the transition. And if you don't have a strict muscle up yet, this is one of the key components of the muscle up that generally is the most challenging strength and mobility-wise. And that's the transition of getting over or under the rings, depending on which position you're starting from. So this top position, we're going to work on starting in the bottom of a ring dip and then controlling down under the rings, pulling the rings in as close to the body as possible. And you can do this with or without assistance from your feet. The first time I'm going to show you with some assistance from my foot. So I'm going to get in the bottom position here. I'm going to create as much load in my arms as I can handle. So I'm just on my tippy toes here. And what I'm going to do is pull the rings in close, bring the elbows forward, and try and stop with contact with my hands in the rings. Now you can work just the negative component of that. Another step would be to add in here, come down, control, stop, keeping that contact with your foot, and then using just enough help to try and get yourself back over the rings, creating as much load as you can in your arms. The next set of progressions for this, we just showed you what it looks like when you have some assistance from your feet, is to take out the foot assistance. So again, I'm going to get into my dip support position. Now as I come down, I'm going to try and slow this down as my arms come down, and I'm going to work to a point where I can completely stop holding my body in contact with the rings. So you might find in the beginning that you can't quite stop yourself. When you can, that's a good indication that you're ready to try and move on to the higher rings. The last progression for strict muscle ups is starting to work on a set of high rings. Now this is really going to only apply if you have at least one strict muscle up, because you need to be able to get over the rings. Something in between maybe the low rings and the high rings could be using a box to help get some leg assistance to get over the rings. But if you do have one strict muscle up, this is a really good progression to build up some volume and get more than one strict muscle up. So I'm going to show you the strict muscle up first. Now what I'm going to try and do is lower myself down to the bottom of the dip support, focusing on trying to stop in the transition. If I'm able to stop and hold, then I'm going to try and pull back over to the top. Always getting an extra ring dip in there is fine. If you don't have the ability to stop, try and come down, keep as much contact as you can, and then just do a negative down. Use whatever assistance you need to get back up over the rings.